Feeling disconnected from your community? Turn to BrainerdDispatch.com. Local news keeps you in the know on what's happening in your area. From breaking news to high school sports reports, get the important news of the day and updates on local events only at BrainerdDispatch.com. Good morning, Brainerd Lakes area. It's Thursday, October 30th. I'm Teresa Burke with your Brainerd Dispatch Minute, the weekday podcast of the Brainerd Dispatch, brought to you by Ray Boyne & Francis Law Firm and Riverwood Healthcare Center, catching you up on the news of the Brainerd Lakes area. Here are today's top local headlines. But first, let's hear from one of our sponsors.
Riverwood Healthcare Center, a top 100 critical access hospital offering advanced surgical solutions, plus a wide range of primary and specialty care at clinics in Aiken, Garrison, and McGregor. Learn more at riverwoodhealthcare.org.
Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison stopped in Brainerd Monday as part of his statewide Protect Minnesota Forum. Ellison spoke to a crowd of around 90 about what the Attorney General's office does for Minnesota before taking questions from the audience. The goal of the tour was to listen to concerns and address issues facing the state. Reporter Tim Spire has the full story in today's e-edition and at BrainerdDispatch.com. The Minnesota Nurses Association is calling for increased staffing after 4 nurses were assaulted the past 2 weeks at Essentia hospitals. 2 of the assaults happened at St. Joseph's Medical Center in Brainerd. A Brainerd nurse was attacked last Friday by a patient, followed by another assault at the same facility over the weekend. The latest incidents come less than 2 weeks after 2 nurses were injured at St. Mary's Medical Center in Duluth. A news release from the Nurses Association said the attacks reflect a dangerous pattern in Essentia facilities, and one that nurses have been warning about for years. Find out what else the union had to say in today's Dispatch e-edition. The arts industry brought more than $13 billion to Minnesota's economy last year. That makes it the second largest industry in the state by economic impact, falling only to transportation. The Minnesota Citizens for the Arts works to make sure funding is available to keep the arts running throughout the state. Representatives from the organization stopped at Central Lakes College in Brainerd yesterday for the final stop in a Greater Minnesota tour. They learned about some of the personal impacts of art programs on residents of the Brainerd Lakes area. Read about their findings in my story in today's e-edition or online. The Crow Wing County Board approved a land purchase to add a buffer to the county landfill. The county paid $150,000 plus closing costs for the land. A large portion of the cost will be paid through funds from landfill fees. Managing Editor Renee Richardson has more on the latest county board meeting in today's Dispatch e-edition. Now let's hear from another sponsor.
When insurance companies care more about their profits than your injuries.
Ray Boyne Francis gets it done. 828-9211.
From former Dispatch publisher Terry McCullough's column, This Was Brainerd, Exploring the Dispatch Archives, here's today's tidbit of local history, brought to you by Mills Automotive Group. 20 years ago today, in 2005, the Dispatch reported that the Inland Press Association bestowed its 2005 Community Leadership Award on the Brainerd Dispatch. It recognized the paper's work in covering the year-long deployment to Iraq of the 152 soldiers of Company A, 194th Armor of Brainerd. Coverage included stories in print, a dedicated webpage, and ideas for classroom projects. For a daily dose of This Was Brainerd, visit BrainerdDispatch.com or find McCullough's column in the newspaper or e-edition. And be sure to tune in later today for Dispatch Sports Wrap with Rad and Hop. They'll have a rundown on local sports teams. Now here's today's Lakes area forecast, brought to you by JN Tree Service and Landscaping.
Storm Tracker.
Happy Thursday, Brainerd Lakes area. We're looking at cloudy conditions with highs in the mid to upper 40s today, with some pretty light winds out of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Slight chance of a rain shower in the evening with those winds becoming calm, and temperatures dropping into the mid 30s to get into your Friday, your Halloween day, with cloudy skies in the morning and then off and on rain shower chances during the afternoon hours. Highs are going to be a little bit cooler in the low 40s. with some light winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Otherwise, looking at gradually drying out by the time we get to that trick-or-treating time. Otherwise, looking at Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, light and variable winds once again, and highs in the low 40s as well. But we will look at a warm-up in store for next week with partly to mostly cloudy skies and drier conditions. This is Storm Tracker meteorologist Stefan Zundy.
Thanks to Mills Automotive Group, Rayboyne and Francis Law Firm, Riverwood Healthcare Center, and JN Tree Service and Landscaping for their support. And thank you for listening to the Brainerd Dispatch Minute. For more news throughout the day and for information on becoming a subscriber, visit BrainerdDispatch.com. Have a great day, and we'll catch you tomorrow.